Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Final live from the Kill House from the Players Championship. Solly here. DJ Pie is here. Hello, DJ.
Greetings. Exciting day. Exciting day.
Tron Carter is on his way to the Kill House as we speak right now, coming straight from the tournament.
White Bronco followed Tron down A1A. Excited to see him shortly here. He was out at the tournament all day.
The Players Championship media staff is chasing him in the police cars behind as he left. I'm sure he did something incendiary on his way out. Big Randy, unfortunately, under the weather tonight and will not be able to join us, so it will be just us here in the Kill House. You might have noticed this, DJ, and I'm assuming you did, that the Callaway and Odyssey staffers were carrying special bags this week, touting Odyssey as the #1 putter on tour. Looks like that one back here on the, if you're seeing this over DJ's right shoulder. We have one of those bags in the studio, as you're seeing, and Odyssey's got a ton of great new options this year, including several new models in the white OG line. Those new White Hot OG are the double wide, and then a few versions of the very popular #7 shape. The new ones are the Nano 7 and the Crank Hosel 7, which I'm gonna have to look into that one. Just the name alone makes me has me very intrigued.
I saw the double wide last week. I was with a player who was using it. Really blew me away. It was very intriguing stuff.
The Crank Hosel Xander's shape of choice, and the new favorite of the big guy, the 7 Bird. Randy is supposed to be here right now to tell you all about how much he appreciates. He was
too sick. He can't be here.
He was a late scratch, a very late scratch of this one. We'll get more on that one. We also have some details to give away on an Odyssey bag that we will be giving away. More details on that at a later date. As always, you can learn more about Odyssey and what makes them the #1 putter on tour at odysseygolf.com. We were ready to tell you all about Sam Burns' week, but he had one of his Sundays, or Mondays, I guess you'd say. It didn't go great, but what a day.
What a day.
What a week.
Can you remember the last time you were there was a lot of clapping, a lot of jumping, a lot of cheering.
We were jolly
going on in the Kill House today. I'm curious, what was the last time you felt that way?
I don't.
Phil at the PGA.
Phil at the PGA. I don't want to comp this to.
No, of course.
I know,
of course.
The day of 2019 Masters.
What
but
I'm saying, unbelievably fun day.
Yes,
the players delivered.
It was. I latched my hopes on to Honor Bond. Like, that's what I was rooting for. I'm happy for Cam. He's a great dude. We've enjoyed getting to know him down here. He's one of the top 10 players in the world. Honor Bond's a 322nd ranked player in the world. Held the 54-hole lead, and I was super excited to see what that win would be like. He gave the performance he needed to. Cam just went out and got it.
It was awesome to. I'm sure we'll get to Honor Bond in a minute. Let's start with Cam. A couple things on Cam. I just saw that, what was it, Justin Ray tweet, I believe. He's the first Players Champion in history to hit less than 50% of his fairways for the week.
But driving accuracy is so important on this golf course.
I bring up because just to kind of pop that bubble of like, it's only short hitters. Another year of a wide variety of players playing well at the Players. That's a lot of players in one sentence there. But I followed Cam all week, and I kept getting off the golf course, which was, a good call. I think TC and I declared this thing over on Thursday night before round 1 was even finished. Round 1 wouldn't finish for 2 more days. We had already declared Cam the winner, so feeling good about that. But I kept coming off the golf course, just kept texting you guys like, yo, Cam's the best. Like, he's the best player in the world right now. Like, it's so greasy and grimy and ugly and nasty, and he just like doesn't make bogeys. Like, he was getting up and down from everywhere. Obviously, everybody saw it today. That was going on all week. It was grotesque stuff.
He had he hit 24 of 56 fairways, had 101 putts for the week, but he was 4th in strokes gained approach. Like, he hit the irons incredibly well. He was very precise. He birdied 9 of his 13 holes in round 4 in the richest purse in golf history. It was incredible golf. I mean, it was just on repeat. He had 1 par through 13 holes, which was also sick. Came out and birdied 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, then bogeyed 7, 8, and 9. Birdies 10, 11, 12, 13, and then hit the shot on 17, which I was kind of hoping he wouldn't admit that he pushed that one a little bit. Because I rewound it, look at where his feet.
Still trying to go over the bunker, which is still a very aggressive line.
I looked at where his feet were aimed. I'm like, yeah, bunker's about right, but it's not aimed towards the center of the green. It was a ballsy line he was taking on that one,
and he was hitting his irons well. I think the reason that he was, I mentioned all that scrambling stems much more from the driving than it does from the irons, right? Where we've talked about this with Sawgrass a bunch, where it's just so easy to compound mistakes, and that was a great reminder. Getting out and actually watching a ton of golf this week was when you miss the fairway, like it's a lot harder to hit the greens, right? There's so many punching out of trees, weird lies in the rough, weird uneven lies, being in that unpredictable pine straw. So he was just missing a ton of greens from that, and like that was his scrambling exhibition that he was putting on. It wasn't for lack of good iron play. When he hit the fairway, he was completely stuffing the pinata, which I think everybody saw today.
I am glad that when he got to 18T, Zinger brought up the last tee shot he hit was a total duck hook on 16, which I'm guessing that was the worst tee shot of the day on 16. I'll pull it up, but
think of the week like pretty easily, I would think, right? Like he looked like he barely cleared the water.
There's a lot of weird stuff that happened this week. This week also started about a month ago. I'm pretty sure
that's fair as well.
Can we talk about 18?
What the hell? First of all, takes the Cody and Ben line, which I think is advised. I think Will Knight said, if that ball doesn't end up in the right pine straw, I'm alerting the authorities with a 3-shot lead. And we kept saying, like, I'm almost never ever like bad armchair quarterback guy. I'm always very like, listen, man, I don't know. These are the best players in the world. They're down there in the situation. They know it a lot better than me. I think we were both screaming like, yo, you have to go outside with this thing is gonna top spin like crazy. It's going to be hooking. It's going to be, if you're keeping it that low, it's going to scoot like crazy. Like just chip it out, hit it on and make your 5. And that was jarring. I don't remember, honestly, I would say I don't remember seeing a shot like that on the 72nd hole of a tournament since the last time we saw Cam. What was that, Memphis? When he like was trying to win it and just hit that tree and kicked out of bounds and cost himself like a $400,000 or something like that. So yeah, I haven't seen a shot like that since the last time Cam did it. So I guess that's kind of fitting.
I said this on Twitter, but Cam is just like the perfect amount of weird for golf. And I'm sure there's more going on than he like lets it look on screen as TC strolls in the door here, coming in hot. I'm sure there's more going on under the surface.
Coming in, big day.
Did you get those from the media center?
Yeah. Cam bought them for all of us. I've been double fisting all the way home.
No. For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Yeah. I got these from the fridge downstairs.
Unfazed by the tee shot on 16. He has a great third shot into 16, steps up with $3.6 million on the line, hits that shot on 17, and then does something really, really, really dumb on 18. And just no big deal. I'll pitch one up to 3 feet and make the putt. And that was the shot difference.
Like Loki almost made it.
Yes.
Maybe should have had pin attended the flag.
Which maybe that was his thought process of like, even if I go in the water, it's a super easy up and down and I'll make 5. But it was very unnecessary.
Can you shed any light? Anything we weren't seeing on TV because it looked extremely foolish
on 18?
The punch shot out of the tree.
Yes, I'm assuming he didn't hit driver because
he did.
He did hit driver.
He did hit driver?
Yeah.
Or sorry, he didn't hit 3-wood because he hates that tee shot and he wanted to like he's got that left miss as you saw on 16. He put the left miss in play on 16. But I guess he's hit it in the water once or twice this week already. Yeah. So I was standing with Ben Everill on the tee and I was like, why is he pulling driver? He's like, dude, 3-wood will go even more left than the driver. So then we go over there, sit in this little upslope in the pine straw. And you're right. Like it was one of those shots where you've either got to get it out like 40 yards and just play for like 130-yard shot in or go for the pin. Like, and he did neither. It was kind of right in the middle there. And then, but then just like such an awkward little yardage and number and just flushes it, almost makes it, like you said. It was, that was one of the, like, I haven't had that much fun watching a round of golf maybe in my lifetime.
What was the highlight?
Oh my gosh. I mean, shit, it was like, 4 birdies in a row to start.
Did you pick him up on what, like 2?
I picked him up on 2 fairway. Yeah. And so I saw him make the putt in the media center on 1, and I was like, all right, I got to get out there. And then the tee shot that he hit into 3 was like one of the most proper iron shots I've ever seen. 4 was just like a routine birdie. And then, kind of wobbled there a little bit. Good par on 5, and then 6 birdies that sticks it stone dead. And then 7, that was a bad bogey. Like that, that was I was standing with Maddie and we're kind of like, oh man, like that was not great. And then 8 was just tough. And then 9 was the only one that like driver wise, where it was like, all right, like driver's kind of a weird play here, right? Because
he had hit driver there all week and he was kind of banging it up that left side and giving. I think it was kind of like one of those I'm with you. It didn't seem like many people, if any people, were getting there in 2 today. So probably somewhat of an unnecessary
And it
risk,
seemed like he needed something to steady him after, two bogeys in a row. And then hit actually a really, really good recovery shot there. Didn't quite get back into the fairway and some of the thickest rough there on the course.
Thickest on the entire golf course.
There on the right, and then just a tough 2-putt there. But I think the drive on 10 was really what steadied him. Like he freaking laced one on 10, and it was like, all right, I'm back.
Because it was up for grabs at that. When he got back, fell back to 9 under. That was when this tournament got especially drunk. Keegan Bradley emerged from the ashes like a phoenix. I don't know where that came from.
I pulled up my phone. I'm like,
Keegan?
White boy Keegan? You serious?
I looked up, Cody, I sent you the graphic. I don't know if you can pull it up, and I know people who are listening to the podcast can't see this, but was the worst shot on 16 for the whole week by a long margin.
It went 179 yards.
Yeah, it was
I was almost worried
by about 40 yards. He was farthest away from the pin by 40 yards for the week.
I was almost worried that he was gonna come back and like hit the tree and come back into that water right off the
He got kind of lucky with it.
How small was that window he was hitting?
I didn't see a window. Didn't see a window. And then his third shot there was that was
so
a hellacious
so good.
seed.
He had like 240 or 245, something like that.
And so then going back 9, the birdie on 10 was like he almost made that one.
Yeah.
11, just a really, really proper second shot there. It started raining like crazy.
That was wild. It dumped.
It started kind of sprinkling a little bit on 10.
Which your models, we talked about this in the media center this morning.
The Euro model was all over the rain.
Euro model nailed it, and the American model was way off. Said it was gonna be all sun all day.
Yeah, but then so 11, he had kind of a squirrely number, I think, and just laces one up there, and then Sam Burns waits to he calls the referee over to squeegee off the green, and I was like, it's not raining that hard.
It's kind of a smart play though, of all right, let's get
let the
rain go through a little bit.
Well,
Keegan, you would have lost your mind. Yeah. Keegan on 13, he just kind of stood on the umbrella for a good 2-3 minutes there.
Well, and then it was one of those things where official comes over to squeegee it off. They wait 4 or 5 minutes, and then they're waiting 10 minutes on the next tee anyway.
That's the thing, is a sneaky nice move you can pull. It's kind of an unwritten thing among players when it starts raining like that, of nobody play. Let's all chill for a second. Let's all slow down and let this thing get through. We don't necessarily want the tournament to flip,
especially on a perfectly sunny day when it's only going to last 12 minutes. Let's just have to hit as few shots as possible.
On 12, the chip from over on the right, that was probably the ball, other than 17, that was probably the ballsiest shot I saw all day. I was sitting there with the Sky Sports and Fanny Summers. They were going nuts. They were going batshit. He flew it a lot farther than you would think, and then it checked up a little bit. It was not a good lie. That was a proper shot. 13 hits a great one.
That was ballsy too.
Yeah, and then 14, again, some of the thickest rough on the entire course, and those little
proper spot, moving the chess pieces forward.
Really, really shitty chip. That was one of his few mistakes of the day. Really shitty chip on 14 there, and then makes 20, 25 footer, and then he goes left on 15, but recovers, and then 16. We talked about that. 17, Burns had taken that exact same line. We're standing right behind him, and Burns took that exact same line, and it got wet. And I'm thinking, I think Cam hit it harder than Burns. But holy shit!
This is it. It landed right of the pin. It is the I think Porter, somebody tweeted it, you give him the whole 20 million. If you land one, if you're in the lead and you land one right of the pin on 17 on Sunday, you should get the entire pot.
How many putts did he have?
He had 10 on the back 9.
He had 24
10
putts.
putts on the back 9.
24
without
putts
a chip in.
Yeah.
He one putted 8 of 9 holes in the back 9. I mean, they did not lip in either. Everything went in the dead center of the hole.
I feel like I've been on a cocaine bend.
That's what I was saying. That's what I've been trying to tell everybody all week, was following him in rounds 1, round 2, round 3. I'm like, this guy he's might be the most entertaining player to follow, because it's not like we followed JT for a while. We were joking about this morning. Following him today and seeing him play golf in person and watching Cam play golf in person. On one hand, it's wait, how the hell does Cam ever beat that guy? That's the dude. Holy shit.
He's the best golfer.
That guy doesn't ever miss a shot. How does that guy ever lose? And then you just watch Cam do it 100 times in a row. You're like, oh my God, I can't imagine playing against that guy. Like, what a complete lunatic.
And just such a popular win. Like you could tell amongst the, the caddies that like the 3 caddies in the group after that came in, like popular win amongst the caddies, amongst the players, amongst tour people, amongst the media who like this was the guy that, I think everybody wanted to see win. Honorbahn was super gracious afterwards.
Honorbahn rules.
He's the best.
He's awesome. Really I was standing up there with Smart and a couple other guys and behind 18 green, and we look out and Honorbahn's drive. Like he must have hit a
he turned it over.
Bomb.
Nice little like turned over draw down. He had like 160 in
161 in. Bond played the round he needed to play today to win that golf tournament. Cam went out and shot 6 under and kind of took it from him, but man, Bond had one bad swing on 8 that led to double.
It was very bad.
It was very bad swing. It was not enough club.
Sure, right? What if I told you Bond had to move people sitting at a picnic table in order to hit his second shot on 8?
On 8.
He tried to
first of all, picnic tables are on
exactly.
It was playing. What they say the real feel, with the wind was like 252 or something like that. And he tried to hit 4-iron and just completely smother hooked it. Had to take an unplayable from one of the palmetto bushes.
And he went back 87 yards to the edge of the rough back there.
Had to pick people up. Like, hey, you need to move from this picnic table. I'm coming right over you.
The people were not in a hurry to move either. I think they're like, is this guy playing in the tournament? Who is this guy? But dude, he hit this freaking golf shots, man. He kind of, I say that he hit some queefy irons. He looked like he was struggling a little bit with the irons today, but he drove it. He hit 10 of 14 fairways today, stepped up and hit a huge shot on 17. It didn't really release, but he had a 13.5-foot putt, drained it right in the center, right as Cam's starting to have his issues. And it was like, and then he threw to the drive right down. He's got a 9-iron in, probably 160, and to the most accessible pin. Like it very, very, very easily could have happened for him. You saw Doug Gim's kick too. If his ball carries, maybe 6-7 more yards, which is not that close for a pro. But if he hits that shot better, he hits that mound, goes down to 5 feet, and we're probably still in a playoff.
Well, I was telling you guys again this morning, not to keep being like I watched golf guy, but he was paired with Cam finishing up round 3. And so I watched them play their last 9 holes, and just like it was clear like Honorbahn didn't have it either this morning. Like he was struggling with that shot he hit on 18 was what he hit probably like 7-8 times today is what it looked like, where you can't tell if he's trying to turn it over, if he's trying to hit a cut, just kind of sticks the heel in the ground and it kind of hits like the weak one out to the right. And I was just trying to like exclaim to you guys how bad his chipping was early this morning. Was just like, I don't know if he chipped one inside 12 feet, just like so stressful this morning, constantly just like looking up at the scoreboard, just 10 feet 2 inches for par, 12 feet 4 inches for par, and he fucking made all of them.
Drain
like drippy putts. And the fact that like that guy hung on and battled all day and had a chance on the 72nd green is awesome. And he had some good stuff to say after the 3rd round too, that probably like it probably helped the schedule probably actually helped him a lot, right? Like he comes into this week not knowing where his game is. Obviously, they talked about this a ton on the telecast, but not playing well, not really knowing what's going on. And then all of a sudden it clicks. And the fact that he didn't have to like finish his round on Saturday night like normal, sit at his hotel until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever. Like the fact that it was just constantly keep like, okay, we're going, get a snack, get a bite, we're going, stretch out, do this, we're going. Probably helped him a ton. So it was awesome to see him not fully eject, which I think we all thought maybe was in the model.
Yeah, hand up. I apologize.
The American model had him completely blown up.
Sean Martin was still dogging you. We were standing behind 18.
Easy seat to sit in, right? Just listen to the show and I'll wait 36 hours. Be like, oh yeah, nice call there.
Who else kind of entered the fray?
To be fair, we did call the game
beyond Keegan. Yeah, we were pretty early. We were so early on that.
We will let you gloat here in a second, actually, on that specific note. But college basketball fans, you can join in on the action on the court during the biggest tournament of the year with DraftKings Sportsbook. Turn your team's victory into your own big win. New customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. It's that simple. If they win, you win. If DraftKings Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still join the college hoops action with DraftKings Pools. Everyone can play free pools all March long for a shot at a share of over $250,000 in prizes. Simply join a pool and answer questions like who will make it to the next round, who will hit the most three-pointers, then track your results. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code NLU. Bet $5 on any college hoops team to win, and you get $200 in free bets if they do. If they win, you win with promo code NLU this week at the DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 and older. Restrictions apply. See show notes for details. So you had Cam Smith winning this weekend on the DraftKings preview show as well.
I did. I think for 15 nugs.
Congratulations.
We'll check that one.
I think that's accurate.
King stays hot, baby.
A couple more Cam things I want to talk about. I'm not trying to make a reach into like some, is there something about the Players Championship thing, but I'm trying to think if there's another like more flatline guy out there than Cam. Like honestly, it reminds me a lot of like Ricky, right? Where it's like you don't really know what's going on. He's just gonna, and Randy's not here to make some sort of Ricky joke. I don't think we need to pile on Ricky at all, but
Cam's probably the best putter in the world.
Of course. But that's
taking
kind of
on Ricky's mantle.
I mean, there's like
Ricky's longer off the tee,
but similar, good iron players, good putters, and like emotions are very, very similar. It was wild watching him walk from 16 green to 17 tee, the famous walk, and just the steady cams up in his face, and you're just like, man, I have no idea what that guy's thinking.
None.
Zero idea. And like you said, obviously there's a lot more going on. It's not just blank, but like
he doesn't
really
wear
fascinating.
anything.
And then he punches it in the water on 18, like categorically awful shot. And it's, man, no idea what that guy's thinking.
We're good.
Yeah. It's just really interesting.
But it seems it's kind of like DJ in a way of like, man, that way of playing golf makes a lot more sense than like,
yes.
Which
is the Honorbond playbook.
It's easier to be like that.
That's what Honorbond was doing today.
Greasiest short game on the planet.
And he said that after the round too. He's like, I probably lean on it a little too much. So I just saw someone the comments pop up. How would you describe Cam's game?
I would say I don't know. Solid. Go ahead.
It comes. I go back to when he was on Wild World of Golf with us, and I've told this story before, but I do. I draw these like tracers on all of our videos, and I got to draw like you idiots tracers all the time. I've never gotten to draw one on a professional golfer, and watching you kind of do it frame by frame, and watching Cam's action like from here to here to here like changed the way I think about the golf swing. And what I saw on repeat was just like, okay, an extremely consistent motion. This may seem incredibly obvious, but it's extremely consistent motion from one, this point to this point to this point. It just kind of blew me. I watch his swing and I'm like, I wouldn't want that swing. Like it's not pretty. Like he does not jump to the top of a list of like, I want to swing the club like Cam Smith. Until I saw that part specifically, I was like, oh my God, dude, like that is why he's like one of the most consistent players on tour. Is he is in the same exact spots every single time. And he's more in control of his golf ball than I feel like a lot of players are.
He's it's quality strikes.
Yeah.
All the time. Like he's always clipping it, hitting it down on it.
At the same speed. Like you almost never see him go hard at one.
He's got a relatively quick tempo, but it doesn't get quicker except for on the one on 16.
that was bad.
But I would say a word for it would be crafty. Like he's just
skilled,
crafty and cunning, and gets the most out of his game. He knows how to play golf. He knows how to get the ball in the hole. He knows how to putt on different surfaces. Like I think over the last couple of years, what I've learned from Cam is he rotates his body really, really, really well. And you can tell, him versus like 3 years ago versus him now, he has so much more core strength. Like you can see, like he's so much stronger than he would let on. I think he does all the right shit. Like he's like, you talk to all the caddies, they're all like, man, like Cam, like he works his ass off and he deserves everything he's getting, because it's like he's not the flashiest or he's not the most skilled player as far as distance or this or that, but he just does the right stuff and he knows how to play golf.
And I think what's so cool about everything you just said is there are like, it's cool to see it pay off that he also has all the creativity as well, right? And that's where I know we go back to the well on this a ton, but that's why it's so fun to watch him play Royal Melbourne. Right? Like sign me up for, if I'm going to watch, if I'm building a foursome that I can just watch on TV, go play Royal Melbourne. I think Cam is 100% in that group.
It's also worth noting, like, I swear I don't mean this as a shot, but like he has 4 PGA Tour wins to this point, but all like I don't want to say crappy wins. There's no crappy wins on the PGA Tour.
Team events.
2 were Zurich though.
Yeah.
Right?
2 team events, Sony and Century. Century's obviously very limited field. Sony not one of the strongest fields. Like this, he did not have a big win like this one
But he's
anywhere
had some
close.
knocks, right?
Well, and you don't
Augusta
finish
and U.S. Open.
You don't finish runner up at the U.S. Open and the Masters if you don't have
Can-
massive.
I
Can
would
I
say-
play it?
yeah.
Go ahead.
I would say even better word would be scrappy.
Yeah.
He's a scrapper.
I think he probably used to be scrappier, and now I think he's got more power, and it seems like
Exactly.
his irons are
but
tight.
but he's still got that scrappiness to fall back upon. Because I mean, like it goes back to even when he was growing up in Australia. Like he was never the number 1 ranked player down there. Like he's had to grind his ass off for everything that he's gotten, and there's been flashier talents and everything like that. And man, he just puts his head down, works, and he has immense self-belief. But he's not at no point would I ever classify him as cocky.
And he doesn't seem like I'm projecting here. I don't know him well at all, but it doesn't seem like he like really runs with like any kind of glamorous tour player, Hollywood crowd type thing. Like, what were you saying about the caddies at like a caddy party at his house?
The Catman tweeted,
Yeah.
they had 30 or so caddies over for pizza and beer this week. Like
Just
he
seems like extremely grounded and all the other things we've just been saying for 5 minutes, which is a pretty cool combo.
we ran into him in Atlantic Beach maybe a couple months ago, and he was just like, "Hey, what's up, boys?" He's like, "Hey, we still got to spin the wheel at Taco Lou. Like you guys got your asses beat by him, and that was the bet. And it was spin the drink wheel at Taco Lou. And he is aware. Me and him, we see eye to eye on making sure that you guys pay up on your bets because there's still some debts to be paid.
Can I play a Masters game with you guys?
Sure,
I got to think like
it's time to start looking
Cam's
at
going to
it.
be a very, 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 very popular pick. Currently, I don't know if the odds have updated since this win or not. I would guess not. Plus 1,800 for the Masters.
That feels about right.
Yeah.
Tell me which of these players. Let's do head to head. If I can give you one of these two for the Masters, Cam or John Rahm.
Rahm.
I'd take Rahm as well.
I'll probably take Rahm. I think Rahm's in one of those points right now where he's going to start trending back upwards.
Like he's
like-
rising from the bottom of the pond, the buoy.
Rahm is plus 750. Spieth is plus 1,000. You taking Spieth or are you taking Cam right now?
You're really testing my willpower here.
I'll
I'll never leave him again.
There's really.
I'm going to say Cam.
I'm gonna say Cam too. There's no bigger Spieth truther in the entire world that I think I have to say Cam at this point. JT or Cam? JT plus 1,200.
JT looks pretty dialed. I know it felt like JT won this tournament about 4 times this week. Every time we looked up, it felt like he was playing the best golf of anybody, just got nothing out of it. Putting is still an issue.
I think I'll take JT. Morikawa or Cam?
Cam. Because Morikawa can't hit a draw.
But he talked about this on the pod. You only need to hit like 3 draws off the tee there. I like more. I refuse to believe
just draws off the tee, but like I don't know. Maybe I'm just haunted from his shot into 17 this week.
I think
The two of them.
the conditions this week wiped him out. Do not sleep. There's no way I'm sleeping on Morikawa after one bad week.
I'm gonna take Cam. Dustin or Dustin or Cam. These are all people that have better odds than Cam. Obviously.
DJ seems like he's starting to wake up a little bit.
Today
was
was
concerning.
What happened
He
today?
shot 63.
63.
Oh, really?
He finished top 10.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, he eagled the last hole.
I said that not knowing. That, it just over the last couple of days, it seems like he's starting to come on and hit some shots again. So
I'll take Cam.
I'm
I
gonna
think
take Cam.
DJ's nebbish right now.
Too unpredictable.
I'll take DJ.
This is a sad one to talk about. Rory or Cam?
Cam.
Cantlay or Cam?
Can't lay.
I'm gonna take Cam. Cantlay we haven't seen him in big spots. I feel like this was another week where it's like, oh, Cantlay is the dude, and he goes home. A bad draw, of course, but still. Brooks or Cam?
Cam.
I think I'm buying Brooks stock right now.
That's interesting. Those are all the people with better odds than him. It's
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah,
I wonder how much that'll change.
That is an interesting game.
Well, I love. I really, really like Cam at St. Andrews.
Yeah.
Kind of hit it wherever off the tee, but
For sure.
But there's lines of charm. It's I think half the field's probably eliminated before they tee it up because they don't understand how to play the
Can
golf course.
Can wrap up his greasy ass short game in one of those
then
newspapers.
It
up
also
there.
might not matter if the wind doesn't blow.
That's
Like
true.
you don't need to know how to play the course.
Well,
if it
and then
doesn't blow.
also I think U.S. Open at Brookline, like tiny, tiny greens, and so
Everybody's chipping.
But you're a good iron player, and everybody's chipping and putting anyway. Like,
Yeah.
that's a good fit.
Great question from Craig Mosier. Tony, Finau,
Tony
or
or
Kim?
Cam?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's tough.
I'll leave that. I'll give you the first word on that one.
Obviously, Tony. I
Yeah,
mean,
of
he's
course.
trending. I mean,
For
he's
well rested for sure.
coming off. Is he though? Because this weekend, the 2 rounds went on forever.
Guys, who else kind of entered the fray today? Like, this is all kind of news
Oh,
to
dude.
me. I
So
got
we
on my
got-
phone a few times to check leaderboards, but for the
Keegan,
most part, I was pretty locked in.
Kiz shot 4 under.
NBC tried so hard to get a human interest story going on Paul Casey. So many people out there pulling for him. You know, this would be the biggest win of his life. He's only won 3 PGA Tour events.
There's a reason for why he's only won 3.
Well,
PGA Tour
I was just like, I thought this was always very obvious to golf fans. I feel like there's a strong sentiment against him. Just tweeted out, like, again, like, why? Who are all these crazy Paul Casey fans? It did not please a lot of people on the other side of the pond. Apparently, there are some very big Paul Casey fans out there.
I had to, like, Paul Casey said some shitty things to, like, he just like
There are
kind of dressed down a volunteer marshal today for not getting the ropes up quick enough behind 12 green. Listen to him make small talk with his caddy about this umbrella that comes in his Porsche that like fits into this special compartment. Like, by like the 11th or 12th hole, I'm like, fuck off, man. Like, you're such a prick.
And this is like in reference to, it's hard because there's not like one thing you can point at and pin down and be like, Paul Casey, bad dude. But there's
He's a
so
fake
many
nice guy.
fake nice
Just like
guy.
Team Rose.
So many people, so many stories out there that I've heard from many people that I trust. They're just like, yes, exactly that exact thing. And I actually texted a couple people today, like, hey, I got a really strong anti-Casey sentiment going right now. I just want to run that by you. Am I in the right here for people that know him a lot better than I do? They're like, absolutely, absolutely on this. So for the people that are doubting this and calling it grade school gossip, like, this comes from a place of knowing a lot of things.
And to be fair, he's been totally nice when we've done stuff with him at, like, when we did the beer garden thing at the.
Oh, he was nice about that.
In the late, he had his own lederhosen.
He can put the charm on
in
a short period of time, but it always bubbles to the surface, and it is just a take I'm very confident in without knowing personally. You may find that unfair, but I find it extremely fair.
He was devastated on 16. You guys had texted me.
Dude, that was the worst break.
Was that like what happened to Kuchar at Muirfield?
Apparently, but this went like subterranean.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
his ball's like sitting there and the earth is just like coming up around it. Like, it's sitting in the plug. It was unbelievable that it would sit there.
Which I would, if that
For
happens,
anybody that didn't see it, I'm sure they did, but his ball on 16, he hits it middle of the fairway, maybe like perfectly right side of the fairway, and it rolls out a little bit and comes to rest in somebody else's pitch mark, which you are of course allowed to fix your own if it's your own embedded in its own pitch mark. But
if that happened on a Thursday, like, he would have just probably assumed it was his own pitch mark. And I was honestly thinking, like, somebody's got to tell him that's not his pitch mark, right? Because it was that embedded.
So you saw it happen in real time on the broadcast?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It was good stuff.
It was stuff. I honestly would not even wish that break.
You know what they call that?
Exactly.
That is the rub of the green.
Couldn't agree with you more.
They were almost wondering like why he laid up from there.
That was very shocking. Very shocking. They were. I appreciated him taking him to task on 12. Like, man, he's trailing. He hits like the perfect shot. You know, a nice high right to left driver. Very shocking to see that he's not going for it on 12. Laid up. Can't really bag him too hard because, you know, he did make a birdie on 12. But yeah, hearing them question, like, interesting. Why is he laying up on 16? Like, because he can't fucking hit the ball. He doesn't know where it's going to go.
He made a business decision on 17. He wasn't going anywhere near that pin.
He had a great, I give him credit on 15. He hit like a Mondo queef off the right.
Bad shot.
Really bad.
That
Like, I thought he was
almost
going to
the
be on 12T.
Matt Every in the film room. Two things Matt Every said in the film room that came very prescient was one, he was talking about how Cam is, you know, he's such a good chipper because it's his own motion. He owns it. He just gets up there. He doesn't think about anything technical. He just chips the ball, and that's why he's so good. I thought that was a really good point. And then two, he told a great story about Paul Casey when he had the driver yips back in the day, almost blowing it onto 11 green on 15T. And he kind of gave a cell phone
recreated
to
that. Yeah, so it was so far right, and then he's up on this side hill out of the thick stuff, and credit to him for getting it even remotely close to the green on that next shot, and then I think he got up and down and made.
He made one bogey
Made
today
par, yeah.
or in round 4, and that was on number 8, and everybody was making big
Yeah.
numbers on number 8 today. That was the hardest hole today. So
Yeah,
I mean, he played a
straight back
great
into
round of
the
golf.
wind.
Yes.
Number 8 was impossible.
I can't. I just don't have. I don't have much to add to the Casey conversation. I don't really feel much either way. I feel pretty ambivalent. I definitely wouldn't say I root for him.
Well, I think that's kind of the thing, right? Is someone that's been around for as long as he has over the last 20 years, and you've seen him in this many big spots and everything, and you still feel kind of ambivalent about him.
Yeah.
I don't
Hey,
know.
At
He's
no
just
point,
another guy.
at no point did I think he was going to win today.
Which is so weird.
It's
right?
amazing.
And it was I was telling you, it felt exactly to me like the PGA at Harding Park. It's like, yeah, no, I know he's like tied for the lead technically, but like he's not gonna win.
When he left the birdie putt short on 13.
Yeah.
Like that was like, yeah, like of course. he did.
after seeing like the exact
Yeah.
line from Cam going in.
I probably feel about Casey the way you guys probably feel about Finau. About when he gets into contention. Finau, I think, is going to win every time. And Casey, I'm just
Sure.
like, oh no, you're
Yeah,
not. That's
yeah,
not
I see,
happening.
I see.
So all right, so who else climbed it? So Keegan
the
played really well. The pro made a lot of money.
the
today,
pro
right?
Max Homa 6 under 66. Moved from what 50th or so up to T13.
But just as far as guys who could have won, like
Keegan.
Hovland was up there for a little bit, right?
Keegan finished bogey double to finish at -9. So if he pars the last 2, he finishes 1 shot back.
Okay.
He had it going. He had it to 8 under through 16 holes today, and then 3 putt. He did not go at the pin on 17. Which again, what I love about 17 is the best pin. Obviously, is like you're going to have to get it back there at some point, and if you bail, you have a huge 3 putt risk, right? So you got to pay that price. There is not a safe shot to hit. You got to get a ball in. If you get it in that bowl, you can make an easy birdie. But if you do not, you are going to be working for par. That is what makes a really, really, really good shot value hole.
That was especially tough today. You had I'm sure the wind was blowing a little bit harder than it was when the leaders came through, but that east wind on 17 to that right pin, like that's so
hard.
so hard to get a ball there.
Hovland wasn't going to win necessarily. He finished at 7 under, but he was on 12 in a great spot, and I won't say bone the chip, but kind of hit it through the green, like just
horrible.
All this, like it becomes kind of a meme, like, oh, this guy can't chip, but then like he does some of the stuff we saw on the back 9 today, and it becomes pretty apparent. So he made a bogey there where he should have made a birdie. That's probably 2 shots. 15 looked like a very benign up and down, and just no chance. Like horrible chip. Made a bogey there. 16 was in a great spot in 2 shots. Hit another bad chip. No chance for birdie, or no kind of good chance for birdie. And then 18 drove it in the water. So I mean, he lit a lot of money on fire. Definitely in the back 9. I don't think he was going to win though.
Number 1 in strokes gained tee to green this week, and that includes losing almost 3 shots around the green. Victor Hovland. He hit the shit out of the ball again, and he putted poorly this week too. He was 63rd in putting, 66th around the green, 3rd in approach, 6th off the tee. Like that's hitting the shit out of the ball. That includes basically taking a 2-shot penalty for his tee shot on 18, which also may bring us to the next point we need to discuss.
Well, what's Hovland's record at Augusta? Because he seems like kind of I know you got to chip a little bit, but you could probably
played what, twice maybe.
He would have played it as an amateur.
As an am, yeah.
Right.
Seems like the kind of
last
place
year probably is top 50.
Victor Hovland at the Masters, he was T32 in 2019 as the low am, and then finished T21 last year. His first one as a professional.
He could be a guy to watch out for there.
But also, like, the chipping thing's very real. And chipping.
He's second to
I've
last.
played the Masters very many times. Chipping at Augusta looks very hard.
To Bo Hoag, he's 216 out of 217 players in strokes gained around the greens.
Bo Hoag drive by,
and it's not yips. Like it's just like horribly chipping to 15 feet on very straightforward chips. It's a scratch player would never hit chips like that.
That's the other thing about Cam today, where I think you got to go back to like his course management, setting aside the bad drive on 16 and whatever happened on 18 there. I think like where he missed on 15, where he missed on 14, like the places that he missed, like he was missing in the right places too. And he was taking the really, because there's some really fucked spots around TPC. I mean, just short-sighted, weird downhill lies where you're chipping.
But he got those up and down too. Like that's what I'm saying. Watching him those first couple days was like, I mean, 10 he was left of 10, like in the woods, had to hit this like incredible flop that landed on a downslope, rolls out to like 4 feet, he makes a putt. It was just like, dude, it was all week. Like yes, he does hit it in the right spots, but his driving was so kind of subpar that sometimes he just didn't have the chance to. So he would have to hack it up into a bad, like shitty spot, and he would still get those up and down. So
what were his stats? Like, just take me through his
Cam?
strokes gained. Yeah.
He was way down in strokes gained off the tee, 68th in strokes gained off the tee, 5th in approach, 19th
out of 70 that made the cut,
19th around the greens, and 1st in putting. So he
picked up 4 shots putting today.
He picked up 4 shots putting today,
and he picked up 4 shots putting in round 2 as well.
Yeah, he putted his ass off this week.
It's crazy.
I like, just for him to be able to steady himself and steel himself after the drive that he hit on 16. Like, it's tough to emphasize. Like, he had his hands on it was like the Icarito. Like, I felt like I was watching Neil at certain points today. He rattled off the 4 birdies in a row, and then kind of hits the skids, the end of the front 9, and then same deal, like back 9. He just, he hits that drive on 16, and I'm like, oh fuck, that's not good, man.
That's a Neil ball right there.
Like, DJ, start playing the music.
Quick left is a Neil ball.
And sure enough, like, it's like he took this almost knockout punch and then picked himself up off the mat, hits a really good punch out shot that like I was like, oh my God, is this thing gonna ricochet back at us? And then hits one of the best shots of the tournament with that 240-yard whatever, utility iron.
I know, like, the number of putts can be misleading a little bit sometimes, but yeah, 101 putts in 72 holes. It's
tough to be like that misleading. When your strokes gain approach is that good too. It's not like you're missing the greens, chipping up to a foot and whatnot. But we got to talk about Berger, Hovland, and Damon here. Before we do that, rapsodo.com/NLU, promo code NLU for $100 off our favorite mobile launch monitor. These things are incredibly accurate. They're about that big, the size of a rangefinder. It attaches right on the side of your bag. They get within 2% of units that cost $20,000. The mobile launch monitor app from Rapsodo automatically tracks your stats and stores video. With Shot Tracer, it helps with your club gapping, helps you understand true distances for each club. If you're changing over equipment from one year to another, or if you're getting a new driver in play, helps you get fitted, helps you get dialed with your proper launch angle, your carry distance, all that stuff. It provides immediate feedback and data, creates for a better practice environment, keeps you from just mindlessly hitting golf balls. Again, extremely portable, sits right there on the side of your golf bag. You can use it indoor and outdoor. Gives you a nice spray chart at the end of your practice session. You can kind of see some tendencies on where you're hitting the ball. Rapsodo.com/NLU, promo code NLU for $100 off our favorite mobile launch monitor.
I got a full new bag. I'm going to be out there this week.
Getting some numbers.
Getting dialed. The Rapsodo, it's crazy how good. Like, just like the scatter plot thing that it gives you at the end of a practice, like it makes it feel like you spent the last hour doing something worthwhile.
Yeah.
Rather than, I was joking about this the other day, rather than just like, all right, let's see if I can hit this fucking boat, which is a bit of my where my practice gets a little distracted.
I need to geolocate the boat on the scatter plot.
Let's talk about the incident on 16th hole.
Yeah, tell me about this.
So Daniel Berger has, first of all, I badly need him for a top 10. What a 50 nugget play. He's got like 230.
Which is the lead. The headline here.
Well, maybe also I shouldn't have said that because it's probably going to people think that's the only reason why I'm taking Berger's side on this.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
He has like 230 or something in on 16. Hits this shot. If you're following us live, we threw the tracer up there, the image up there of. Kind of starts on the left side of the green, and the pin is on the right side, and it fades, drifts, goes right in the water. And they kind of cut away for a while, but the ESPN Plus cameras got all of the entire conversation, incredible audio, and to the tour's credit, they posted the whole thing on their Instagram. So if you want to go back and watch this, you can. But basically, and I chatted with someone, Joel Damon, after the round, I think that they eventually ended up with a fair middle ground, right? And it sounds like Berger was going really close to the green to take the drop. And they both had, and I think Hovland was the first one to say something. I could be wrong, but basically said, like, I'm a little skeptical of that. That doesn't seem right. And they were pointing him way back, way back. And Joel says something on there. The audio picks him up saying, like, yeah, I didn't really have it like slicing or fading that much. I kind of had it like starting at the pin or right of the pin and then drifting, which if you're looking at the tracer, and I know a lot of people are taking issue with looking at the tracer or it's not accurate, but it very clearly shows some shot shape to it. Like, the ball is moving from left to right. You can follow the shadow that's on the ground as well. And it showing it at least starting left. So it crosses a lot of land. and he ends up dropping it 100 yards out. So it kind of feels like I kind of was Team Berger on this.
How far was he hitting the shot from?
Like 230.
Okay.
And it just, again, it kind of, this is a problem with TPC Sawgrass, is you have these shots that are huge carries, and it's
Shout
impossible
out to the cat.
It's impossible to know. This is the Casey Wittenberg is not walking through that door with this pairing. And
well, it's good to see Joel and Victor as students of history. It's not on my watch, man.
I don't know. It just felt like Berger was adamant, like extremely, extremely adamant that it was not. And please do not send me the screenshot of the shot of, that goes on the app. Those are not, that does not show the shape of the shot. That shows a straight line from where it went in. I think they ended up in a pretty fair spot. Berger was pretty adamant that was not the case. They had a very Coach K handshake afterwards.
How much closer was he trying to drop it?
I was told 25 yards from the green, which seems aggressive. Again, I'm with them on that, but they were trying to send him really far back. And basically the ultimate settlement was like, I think this is a bad drop, but if this is where you guys think it should be, I'll drop it here.
And did the rules official come up and
he did, but he
work
was
through this?
He was kind of like, you guys had a much better angle than
There's only
we
so
had.
much you can say. You can't.
You guys got to like agree on this.
Which is where I kind of, first of all, I'm wildly on record here. Don't give a shit about where did it cross Twitter. So I'd like to mostly abstain from this. But second, it's weird, and this is kind of why I don't give a shit about a lot of this stuff. I feel like is just like relying on a pro tracer is weird when we know how like unreliable those can be. It's weird to take that as gospel over like, and it's also weird to take like eyewitness from someone who's on the other side of the fairway, or it's just, I don't know. It's just an unfortunate situation. One thing I'll say about Berger that I've noticed heavily over the last couple of years, I've heard some stories as well, but I've also seen some eyewitness stuff. When someone's taking a drop, when someone's like,
he's up in there,
always in there. So I think
he did it with P a couple last year, a couple years ago.
I think he's a big spirit of the game guy. I'm sure he was not trying to pull one over, and ditto for Damon and Victor. I'm sure they're not trying to, obviously they seem like both very, very upstanding guys as well. So I think it's a little bit of a, not much to see, probably miscommunication, misunderstanding.
Captain Berger, you got to worry about it. He knows maritime law.
That's true.
Maybe
he was
online.
He's trying to get out to international waters where he could drop wherever he wanted.
He was looking for the harbor master.
Cody, I see you throwing up all these comments that are ripping on me here. I need you to come in here and give your opinion on the matter if you manage to see it.
Yeah, I saw it. I stand with the boys here. Not he tried to go way, way, way too far up.
Which I agree. It would definitely sound like he went too far, but it also looks like that ball was covering a lot of land before it started going out over the water.
True. I think everybody's thrown off here by the actual graphics that were up on the screen, and the graphic, like the ball itself, was still way further right than the tracer ends up being.
Which the ball always looks, this is like this again where I'm like, this is just a bad situation. The ball always looks on TV, the down the line shot always looks like it's a mile further right than it actually is. You know what I mean? Like it's always, the only thing that really works is like a blimp shot or like a tower shot from directly behind. Right. Otherwise you always get skewed perspectives and you can't tell. Like, go watch any golf shot that a right-hander hits. Looks like it just blows immediately straight right off the screen. And so I don't know. It's just a bad situation.
If you followed the shadow of the tracer, it's on its way down before it starts to get like out over the water. Like it's past apex, which would, that's got to be what, 60% of the way there at least. I don't know. It's
what a dumb fucking sport.
It's amazing.
Exactly. Well, thank you. That's what I'm saying.
But like this shit is going to matter. One.
Oh, I totally get
I know.
it, but just like if
for
you were a non-golfer.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, if you had money on Daniel Berger.
Stop putting all these comments on the screen, Cody. This is bullshit.
This one's pro you. I put one up making fun of me. Come on.
Getting involved.
But there is a little collusion here.
Raise his hand to answer the question. That's a good one.
But like for people that are gambling on this stuff, like I feel like at some point in golf, they're going to have to figure out, rather than it being up to the competitors that don't really have that much better information.
I feel like at some point we're going to have like 3D, we're going to have radar going everywhere and it's going to be able to triangulate. It's like that Israeli radar technology that they use in the NBA.
Cody would love to tap you in on this one as well. Any words there?
Thank God he went with the NBA. I thought we were going trap draw conversations here. I was like, I don't know if this is a platform for that.
It is interesting that Damon has ended up in this situation a couple times, which if I have any bias here, it's towards Joel, who I would consider a friend and who's been a guest on this show many times. I have no relationship with Daniel Berger, but
Joel's also, Joel doesn't think that grandstands are a problem.
Yeah, Joel is
in
the
the
watcher
game.
on the wall. Do not
Exactly.
try to take a bad
This
drop.
Could be, I don't know. Could be justice for Sung Kang if Joel's proven to be, incorrect on this.
We had sung wrong the whole time.
Exactly. I don't know. Makes you think is all.
That seems unlikely. But
What else we got to say? I mentioned it briefly, but Kisner's round was a complete cash machine as well. I think that was
he was in
the money booth, just grabbing shit off the walls.
which I know everyone has one of these holes at Sawgrass. Everyone has one disaster hole. He made a triple bogey on 17 on I thought he did. No, he made a big number earlier in the week that was
double on 5.
He made a double. I thought he made a triple on 17. I mean, I have that wrong. He made a double on 5 earlier in the week, but he yeah, okay. My take is nullified then. I swear I thought he hit one in the water on 17 and cost himself a lot of money, but yeah, he has a good one of the few players that has like a pretty consistent track record.
He does. And I think what's
Kisner's game's similar to Cam's.
Yes,
in that
I agree.
They're both very good iron players, can be spotty off the tee, but maximize their games around the greens.
I just like looking at his scorecard because it is very Sawgrass is a little Augusta-ish on that back nine, right? Where it's like he gets through, he bogeys 11, which is a totally gettable hole that he should have birdied. But then you just know that, like, okay, now I'm on 12T. Like, I absolutely can run downhill and I can just go grab a ton of cash and maybe something weird will happen. I'll put myself in contention. I think that's what makes it, obviously let me be the 8,000th person to say that, but
birdie on 15.
I think that's what makes it so fun to watch.
I mean, like 14, 15, like you can run downhill really 11, 12, 13, and then
you can get caught sleeping on 14.
14, 15 is like a little heat check there. A little bit like 14 at Augusta.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't look like much. 14 and 17 at Augusta, a little bit. But
15 was the second hardest hole today. Only 6 birdies on that one.
And then, God, I mean, 7 had to be hard as shit today too.
7, 8 was a tough little stretch.
Straight back into the wind.
7 was 6th hardest, and 8th was the hardest hole today. And it was all the best players. I think they got it in the hardest conditions coming in the last few groups, but the wind was really starting to pick up a little bit at that stretch.
Rom also probably pulled up 4. The scoring average on 4.
He was a bit of a buoy on the scoring average on 4.
There was a Coast Guard helicopter coming in, flying above as he was making his 9 on 4, which
we were out there watching. First of all, on 3, he blocks probably an 8 or 7 iron way right, doesn't yell for the
which
just a note.
It's got to be fair. We got to get on the European guys just as we get on the American guys.
Absolutely brained that guy.
Hit a dude in the dome.
But then it was great. Did a whole song and dance.
Yeah,
Gave
made the joke.
Hug, very public.
Headbutted onto the green next time for me. That whole bit. That was good.
And then it got dark.
And then he hits it right on 4. And he's in the fairway bunker. And I remember thinking, like, God, I would hit this in the water for sure, but I cannot wait to watch him just hit the middle of the green. He chunks it right in the water and gets up, takes a weird drop. DJ, to your credit, you were like, yeah, I know he's #1 player in the world, but I don't know about 90 yards out on a downslope, ball above your feet. Like, and I was like, oh no, he's gonna hit this right on the green.
He basically took it as far back as he possibly could, still in the fairway, downhill lie, but somehow above his feet as well.
Super weird.
Yeah.
Very, very weird place to
chunk that into the water. So now he's hitting 6, hits another bad one onto the front of the green, then 3 putts
really
it for
bad.
9.
Maybe worse than the ones that went in the water.
Yeah.
Like tough.
JT hit it to like 2 feet. And then
JT and Doc Redmond,
maybe 4 inches.
Yeah. JT and Doc Redmond had 6 combined strokes on the hole. Rom had 9 strokes on the hole.
JT hit it to like 2 inches, and then Rom hit it 5 times and took 2 penalty shots before JT got to tap it.
Doc Redmond, though, not a real doctor,
which we learned today.
That was news.
He's a PhD.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to get that off. We had way too much fun with that for about 4 holes there. JT's shot into
Doc
3
Redmond, medicine woman.
That was the next best shot I saw to Cam's, where I was like, oh my God, like we're probably not going to see anything better into 3 than that. And then Cam puts it, pin high, just right of the pin, but like very, very tough pin placement there today.
God, I had a blast watching JT this week. Like,
it was
that was, I kind of said it on the show the other night. I know it wasn't the finish that he was looking for, or the weekend he was looking for, but
what did he do today?
Even par, kind of stuck in neutral a little bit. Eagled 16 though, but then that's right, he doubled 17,
tripled
17. But this week, and a lot of it, obviously most of it was the conditions, but we said this the other night that I think there's a misconception. I'm sure that I'm very guilty of this as well, especially when you start, getting a little jolly on the show and your mouth starts moving a little faster than your brain. But I think there's a misconception about like, oh, technology and conditions, and these guys, they can't hit any shots, man. These guys don't, they don't have what they can't do what these the players of yore used to do. And then you watch JT and you watch like a bunch of other guys have to, like, we just don't get to see them hit the shots. Like they 100% absolutely can hit the shots. We just don't ever get to see them, which both made me so happy this week that we did get to see it, and it made me so bummed that we don't get to see it more. Well, that's JT like rose miles in my book this week of like, God, I didn't realize, I don't think, just how fun that guy is to watch.
That's what made Brandel's take on 17 frustrating. Yeah. It was like, no, dude, like it was possible. And it's a shot it's a different shot on that day.
What was his take?
On Saturday, basically that, 17 was unfair. It was not designed to be, playing in hard conditions like that. And I was just adamant of like watching the different kind of shots. We talked about this all week, the different heights of shots. You had a much better chance of hitting the green the lower you hit the shot. And it was just very specific of like, dude, can you flight? If you're hitting 8-iron, can you flight it down? If not, it's going to balloon and go in the water. And if you hit 7-iron, can you make sure it doesn't go through the wind? Can you get enough spin on it to hold the green? Like, it was a specific shot that was required. And it was super fun to be like, execute this or pay a 1.5 shot penalty. Probably that's what the penalty is for going to the drop area. And some dudes could do it. Like half the field could do it and some couldn't. And that is totally fine for entertainment. Like, look at that freaking island green, that point you made of like, it's not a real golf hole. Like, look at that thing. It's like,
it's just not a spirit of competition. Yeah. We need to make this a little more fair. It's like, dude, it's a circus.
They throw a ton of, and then he starts bitching about, well, it's a window into the player's soul, or like, golf is a window into the player's soul. Well, this is like that's the clearest window you could possibly have.
I hate to massively oversimplify it, but like, we saw two dudes go up there in the penultimate group on the final round, and we saw Cam take a line over the bunker with a 2-shot lead, and we saw Paul Casey play right to the middle when he knew that he had to chase. It's like, dude, that's it, man. Yeah. Can you do it or not?
Well,
I know Cam pushed it and all that stuff, but like, he still, like we said, was way right of where I would have been, standing on that tee box.
I do think there's
right of where a scratch player would have been.
There's probably some work that can be done in the back left portion of that, and that slope in the middle is probably a bit severe.
We got to bring in the volcano.
But the back right part is awesome. I think it's great. And I think it's just makes for tremendous. I said this, like, when Cam's getting ready to hit that shot, like, for that much money and that much shit you got to put on the line. I remember Harmon had made about a $400,000 bet by last year when he went at that pin. If he goes in the water, it probably costs him $400K, and he stuffed it and made a bunch more money. Like, that's entertainment right there. Like, that's what we need as golf fans.
I would say JT, he is the living embodiment of what Zinger said, I think last week, when he said what old school
modern golf.
Old school modern golf. Like, JT's got some old school shit in him.
Yeah.
Then also, I think like
somehow that was this week.
Like JT hits the shots and does this stuff. I think he and Rory are probably the two guys that have that, like, the ceiling doesn't exist, right? They're so freaking talented and good, and there's just so much upside. And JT does the shit that you want to see Rory do.
You want to hear the dumbest? Like, this week was way too long. Rory and JT tied this week. Yeah. Rory shot 6 dead cat bounce from Rory today.
What did Zalatoris do today?
He went backwards. Zalatoris did not have a good day today. He finished at T26. He shot 2 over today. Sam Burns, tough day. I'm sure there'll be plenty of great days in his future. It just wasn't his day.
Burns was I guess
he does this a lot.
I guess he was missing left all day yesterday. He was missing right all day today. And I'm like, God, he's going to put the left miss back in play. I give him credit, though. Like, that's such a grind if you don't have it off the tee.
Yes.
And
well, he stepped up.
Cody, agree or disagree?
On the 18th hole today in round 3, he stepped up and hit a tee shot that got like a double standing ovation from the crowd. It was so good. Drew it around the leg. It was like the shot shape got like a cheer, and then everyone like kind of like lands in the fairway, goes back to his bag, and everyone just, yeah, what a shot, which like you rarely see on tee shots. So
purely not meaning to be a drive-by, but just a very like, wow, that's wild, man. Bubba, bogey-free 68 and the hardest day that I've ever seen people play golf, and then comes out of the weekend and goes 78, 76. Did not see that coming. So just entering that into the historical record.
What did last place get?
Like 43K.
God.
Shout out to P for losing almost 6 shots off the tee this week and finishing T26.
It's like straight up.
Incredible.
If he doesn't lose 6 shots, if he's just average off the tee, how many shots What does
So
he
if-
finish?
So if he's 6 shots better, he shoots 8 under par and finishes
Top 10?
finishes
T6.
T6. Like that's just he's neutral.
That's
not,
an expensive endorsement deal, P. All right. Choose your partners wisely.
Oh man,
I'm sure he's not listening all the way this far into the show. He probably
He probably bailed by
tuned
now.
out.
Oh, I thought Lady J was gonna sneak attack me this week.
Just real quick, speaking of sneak attacks, they're back. Okay, so you guys
Oh, the
talked
bots
a little
are
bit
back.
ago. The bots are back. We're just fighting them on 2 flanks right now. So I apologize for not being as present as I should be.
Is it porn again? Are they trying to get us to look at porn or
Yeah,
or,
it's a lot of interesting offers. It's called a naked HD XYZ online.
Hey, no free ads. No free ads. Come on.
Cody,
Okay,
don't
okay,
click
there
on
you
any of
go.
those links. Don't click any
Don't
links. Otherwise, the
worry.
whole operation's going to go down. Anyways,
Any questions rolling in that we need to get to? Or anything? Any topics we haven't covered, Cody?
I want to talk a
I
little bit
think-
about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Cody.
Well, I think a lot of it is, and I know this, we'll get around to this at the end, but the overall money and how much that kind of affected the how the tournament looked. You know, a long time the tour didn't want to talk about money. Now it's obviously flashed in everybody's faces. Did that change the outlook? I think it added definitely some drama to the end of it, specifically with like key positions at the very top moving down. But curious on your guys' thoughts.
I
had
don't
this
know.
on my list as well.
I don't know why they don't use graphics for it, especially a week
Yeah.
like this. Like it would just easy. Like we care about that. People do care about that. They want to know if a putt is for $400,000. Like that's worth noting. That's interesting. Trying to pretend like it's you know, that they play for more than that. Like they're playing for the spirit of the game or FedEx Cup points, which are just poker chips. You cash in for money at the end of the year. Like steer into it. It's freaking cool that you get a $20 million purse.
I would love to be the cool man to say, like, you know, I don't even think about the purse. I didn't think about it at all this week. I for sure did. Like I hate saying it, but I think it like totally elevated the tournament in my mind. It's literally the richest golf tournament in the history of the world. And it's impossible not to think about that. And I feel like for whatever reason, people can make fun of this all you like. I thought higher of the players this week than I think I ever have going into it. And I think that affected, you know, how I felt on Sunday. So
It's the Tom Hoagie effect.
it could be. I don't know what it is, but I mean, I think it's a lot of what we were saying probably in the previous show, and that part of it's just living here in Jacksonville, I think, and it's always kind of top of mind. And you know, you're going to the media day and you're hearing about all the different things they're doing, and you played the course a bunch of times, and all that stuff is part of it. But it's I don't know, man. It's just great to have a baseline of, you know, knowing all the holes. It's great to know exactly what's coming up around the corner. I think when we, you know, the US Open comes around, if it's not a super familiar golf course, it's you do your best to try to learn, like, what's 14 again? Is that,
and then by the time you learn it, the week is over.
exactly. But at Sawgrass, it's like, oh no, I know, like, oh my God, he's in the right rough. Like that pin's in the front right. He's totally fucked. I know, like, it just enhances the experience so much. The TV coverage is so freaking good when they get down the stretch, and it's very, very limited commercials. It builds the drama. It's just like synthetic manufactured water drama coming down the stretch,
But it
it's
works.
so freaking fun to watch. It's a great mix of players that it was feeling a little terroristy for much of the week, but Honorbahn kind of acquitting himself and really like sticking around, made for a super interesting storyline. It's just, I don't know, man. I 8 thumbs up for the players this week, because everything was, I can't imagine being dealt a more difficult
Yeah, that was it.
possible hand, and everything was awesome this week. I had a blast.
Everyone that had anything to do with it, I felt like they pressed every right button that they possibly could
Yeah.
have. I mean, the timing of when they started and stopped play, the urgency at which getting players back out, you know,
How about
Making it as-
playing the ball down in 3 and
was gonna
4?
say,
Might have
playing
cost
the ball
Paul Casey
down.
the tournament.
Even that, just, I mean, like really, like, I thought they did an awesome job with the setup this week. I thought they did an awesome, like the agronomy team, all of it. I mean, like there was not a whole lot of mud on the ball.
no.
The last 2 days, which is absolutely remarkable. Greens were a great speed. I think it kind of proves like you don't need greens to run at a zillion to have an interesting golf tournament. If anything, it kind of makes it a little bit like more about the ball striking, less about the putting.
I thought it played better as the week went along too. Like Thursday was kind of the backspin invitational, and that was not that fun. Just what I mean, I know there's skill that comes with controlling your backspin, but I don't find that style of golf that exciting. And that kind of went away as the week went on. And I don't know how they did that with that course condition. Even going around, walking around, and sitting in spots and stuff, it drained incredibly well.
Even just walking around and the lack of mud and the lack of they dropped a bunch of pine straw in spots or some sand in spots, but really overall, like there was 4.5 inches of rain, and it was.
We were wondering
really,
if maybe
really pleasant.
If maybe there's some sort of underground water catch that is filling the moat. Was possible. I don't. I'd love to see some of the infrastructure.
The moat or the data lake.
Or both, or possibly both.
Well, that's the thing is, Cam might be the only one because of how often he plays here that knows that everything breaks towards the moat.
Towards the moat. That's a great point.
The just with
I think Cam would support your Armada plan, by the way, as much as Berger would.
Cam might be everything that everybody wants DB Straight vibing to be.
God, that's a great take.
Right?
Yes.
Because he had some great quotes earlier in the week about, what would the money mean to you? And he's like, I'm pretty good. Like, I might buy some more fishing equipment or something like that, which is a heck of an outlook to have when you're playing for that much money, to not feel like to want to win the tournament more than you want the money is
even crazy. I mean, just looking at how much between this and Century and Northern Trust, like his last 7 or 8 tournaments, I mean, I think Sam, his caddy's probably made $600,000 or $700,000, right? But yeah, I don't know. I just think the tour is they seem a lot more secure in themselves with the players, except for we can talk about Goldman.
Goldman looms large over this entire conversation.
Goldman notwithstanding, everything else just it's a first class event, and really, like, you see there's such a sense of pride, but there's also a sense of confidence from the tour now, and it's not just this kind of plastic popcorn muscles. And I think, hey, this is a legitimately great tournament.
It almost becomes more interesting. Like, we've had actually, I don't even think we've had the conversation because we always skip over it. Like, the whole, is it a major? Is it not a major? Because, like, of course not. You don't just like flip the switch unless you're the LPGA. But it's almost kind of cooler now that it's completely in its own category. Because I feel like maybe this is more of a me thing. When I was a much more of a casual fan, the players did not stick out as much as it does now. And it has totally elevated itself to, like, no, there's the majors, there's the players, and then there's everything else. And that's, I don't know, that's really, really cool.
I think,
have I watched worse majors? Have I been less excited about major championships?
Baltus, Jimmy Walker?
For sure. Am I saying it's a major? No, it's its own thing, which is really cool.
And this is an unfair take, and there's not a realistic solution to this. But it would help so much if this was the season finale, and it does not work with the schedule.
Yeah.
It in September would not be a good tournament. It would be, the course would actually play pretty good probably, but
hurricane season though too.
Yeah, it's true. It's hot, and it's not realistic, I know, but it would be an exclamation point on a season. It's just
somebody said that. What if I know the wraparound season's probably going away, but
why not just push it into October or something?
Or no, why don't you just like change the start date? I mean, I guess that messes up like Kapalua, but
you don't.
Why not? Because
football.
But then I'm saying, like, you just change, like, okay,
earlier.
Next week at Tampa is the first week of the season, and then you come all the way around, a full calendar season all the way around. Because then you ramp up and you have, like, the West Coast swing could be, playoff events or whatever.
And juiced up the West Coast swing.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
I think Cam also.
Apologies to whoever made that actual take that I stole that from, but
Cam also, like, this was probably the most similar conditions that he plays. Like, he plays Sawgrass in these conditions. This is his home course.
He also did get the good draw too, which is not surprising. But
for sure, yeah. But like, the greens are relatively they're not like, they're still soft. The wind kind of died down. It's not turned up to a zillion, right? And that's probably where when he feels super comfortable at Sawgrass, is him playing it in September, October, November, when it's not ramped up to 1 million for the players.
One more thing I'll give the tour credit for is and I forget if we said this on the show and any other nights this week, but they're not concerned with the final score. They don't need to make it hard for the sake of hard. Like, there's easy holes that you can make birdies on, and there are hard holes out there, but it is not like we are not protecting score in any way.
Which I think, were you guys saying that on the podcast? That whenever you have a winning score between 10 and 18 under, it's usually pretty freaking good tournament.
Yeah.
And the players just always seems like it's right in that like 13 to 16 range.
And if it's more than 20,
It's usually like perfect conditions,
especially
or
on a
something.
par 72. Yeah, it's normally like, all right, there's too many birdies, or it's just, there's
not enough consequence along the way, which there's clearly consequence here.
I saw a question in the comments, which I am calling out because I was thinking the exact same thing. Did anybody miss Bryson this week?
Yes.
I will say hell yeah,
absolutely.
In that, if he would have had the bad draw, I can't tell you how much I would have wanted to watch Bryson out there.
Bryson is,
for better or worse, he might have hit some like unbelievable, awesome shots.
The weirdest athlete I've ever encountered, and that like I just can't stand the guy, yet I love watching him play and kind of root for him on the golf course. And I think that might just be
want to root to see him more.
Yes, it might be for content purpose. I really don't know, but golf is funnier when he's playing good and more entertaining.
Which I think there's something to be said there. The cover story for Golf Digest, I don't know if it's this month or last month, was kind of going into how people rooting against him because he's
different.
He's different and he plays the game a different way. I don't think that's why anybody's rooting against him, right? I think that got that so remarkably wrong. It's just because he's a dick, right? Like that's it, right?
Yeah, that piece was tough. It was a tough read.
Doug Gim
had a great week again. True horse for course. T6 this week. He had an even par round.
Yeah,
missed a. He had a good look on 18 to birdie it and make quite a bit more money from 4 feet 7 inches and missed that one. That cost him a little.
Who else? We got HV3 played well.
Russell Knox,
Adam Hadwin, great round on the other side of the golf course.
Sepp Straka keeps it rolling.
Exactly.
Russ Henley continues to be a iron god. He's just a total menace with irons. I think he led the field. Led the field in strokes gained approach this week.
I feel like we need to mention this in case people missed it on the telecast, how his round went today. Russell Henley started with a double bogey on 10, then made an albatross on 11.
Albatross is potentially having a moment.
Exactly. More to come. Watch this space for potential future albatrosses.
Why is it not called a triple birdie? That was
a great point. It was your best point of the day. I really enjoyed that. Birdie set, then a bunch of pars. Birdie 17, birdies 1, eagles 2, and then kind of putters in from there. But truly outrageous round of golf.
How'd Tommy play today?
Well, real quick, do you remember how worried I was about Tom Hoagie finishing top 40?
Yeah,
he got dead heated. He finished T33.
Really?
With and I got
how many other guys?
There's a lot of guys. It's only a little bit of dead heat cut, but legitimately almost lost the top. He doubled 17. He almost lost the top 40.
How'd Tommy play?
Tommy
today?
shot even today.
Come on.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out. They treated the caddies really well today. Heard that from a couple caddies. You had there was a barista in there. The barber was in there. There was a barber in there. There was a physio doing massages as well. And so the players, like the caddy stuff was so good that the players started infiltrating the caddy service.
That's where the Sideburns Bandit came from. He was in the caddy lounge.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And so I, heard from a couple caddies. One of the caddies said, I had a cut from the barber. Hard to get in due to all the players getting free cuts. So I asked the guy, I hope at least they tipped you well. I said, funny thing, the worst tip I got all week was from a player, not a caddy.
How about that? Hate that. So look at who got haircuts this week, I guess.
I was gonna say I'd hate if that name leaked out.
No, it's down to 2 guys. I'm not gonna say who it was.
What Matt's offered is fair. I'm out of the country traveling. What Matt's offered is fair.
Was Matt in the field this week?
I don't know. It was more of a joke.
No, it wasn't.
He
Matt.
was actually, because I saw him hit a bit of a poofer into. Oh, remember he hit the shot of the week. He hit it like 190 yards on 17 over the walkway.
No, it was a non-US American.
Interesting.
Which
I just want to call out a comment right here from young Alex Higgs. There you go, right there. Can confirm all of this, plus very good chocolate chip cookies. Alex, thank you for stopping by.
Joining the conversation.
Alex was not one of my sources, but I'm glad to see that he could corroborate this.
Alex, of course, the caddy for his brother Harry Higgs. Thank you for tuning in. Anything else?
What else? I just had on the agenda kind of getting back to watching golf in person. A lot of, not a lot of actually doing that the last couple of years. A lot of that's COVID. I think kind of fell out of the habit, traveling for other stuff. At least for me personally, unbelievably awesome to get back and watch golf. I'm curious what your guys' takeaways from the week, impressions, best thing you saw, things of that nature.
Tough week for viewing, just with the flow of the week and schedules and threesomes off 2 sides. It's usually the weekend at Players is awesome. Usually you know, we can go out Thursday, Friday morning too and find a guy and follow him for 18 holes. That was tough this week, but yeah, I mean, I hate every time I do this, every time is the takeaway of just like, guys, they're really good. Like it's just the takeaway every time. You know, the shots to 15 feet on TV that look very average are really, really, really freaking good golf shots. Walking out and seeing those shots in person, just a reminder of how challenging, how real the wind can be. You know, sometimes on TV, it looks like they're playing in a dome and it looks like it should be easy. And it's just freaking not. And I know a scratch player probably would have top 20 out there this week, but you know, it was
no better than that.
No,
the fact that you did that to me the other night, like right before bed. You're like, oh yeah, man. Like, what'd you tweet?
I don't know. I forget what it was. I've gone back to the well too many times on that joke this
You're
week.
like, oh, you know, like I know you think that a scratch player would break 70 out there today, and then I got all these dipshits in my mentions. So
I think along those lines, one of my biggest takeaways, not really something you can measure, obviously, but just watching guys, just how good their like mental games are. It's such a good reflection of how shitty your own mental game is when you picture like yourself and you play back your own rounds of golf and how things just start moving quickly, and you know, one tee shot affects the next 5 shots, and then you check out for a while, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh god, I'm like 8 over through, you know, 11 holes. Like, sweet, I guess today's done. And then you kind of check out. Massive credit to Paul Casey for making triple on the first hole, and having a chance to win the golf tournament. Essentially, is just like that kind of stuff is a perfect example. But then also just watching, like, especially in the conditions, the ability to just check in, check out, like be completely committed on every shot. And then when you see the lapses is when you get to like 17 and guys are in between thoughts or whatever, and they're kind of afraid, and then they hit like a high gross spinner and in the water. It was awesome to see those kind of two ends of the spectrum on display.
I'd be curious to know like how many of the guys that played Bay Hill last week played well this week. Because like their nerves and their attention span had to be a little bit frayed after Bay Hill, and then coming here, you know, and then just how deep the tour is, how deep golf is right now. Like, you know, somebody was on me last night because I was like, you know, like Patton Kazire, like he's been in form, I said, and they're like, no, like he hasn't been in form. I'm like, all right, well, he's finished T42, T22, miscut, T10, T61, T32. Like that to me, like for how freaking deep.
I think people always forget that there's like 156 guys in the field every week. So like finishing
T22, yeah,
T22 is really good.
And there's like 250 like really, really good golfers in the world, and it is. I think now like somebody like Waka winning in LA, right? Of like there's like 30 of him.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like there's 12 guys that can win every week.
Deep to like a fault, basically.
Yeah. Like there's so much parity, and it's so freaking hard to win. And like, yeah, there were a bunch of really, really good players 10, 15, 20 years ago, but it didn't even come close to the same depth, I don't think.
Following up, before I forget, we got a little bit of follow-up on the Waco stuff we were talking about on, I forget whatever night that was, when Joaquin Niemann was playing with Cam, and I made a comment about like, oh my God, you'd never believe the amount of Chilean golfers that were out there, and there's little kids screaming in Spanish, and it just like completely blew me away.
Vamos!
It was so freaking good. It was maybe the highlight of the week. But we got a follow-up today that apparently he runs like an elite junior tour in like kind of back where he's from, and bringing like apparently one of the perks was if you win certain age groups, I guess all those kids like got a trip to the Players. So I guess it wasn't like a coincidence. There wasn't just like a massive Chilean population in Jacksonville that I wasn't aware of. It was a little more orchestrated by Joaquin, who was actually like, no, like I'm gonna bring all these people in to the tournament, which is really freaking cool. So maybe awesome on him.
Maybe that's why he's got his Delta sponsorship.
He's
got Delta. Sebastian Munoz has Delta now as well. Munoz had a tough day.
He did.
When I saw him where he was after his second shot on 1, it was like short left of that pin, or of the he was short left of that green, like in that little kind of sandy area, and there's 2 or 3 palm trees right there. I'm like, I've never even been there before. That's a bad spot.
A fast drop from coverage today for Sebastian Munoz, which is fair because there was a lot going on that leaderboard. Can I take one totally unfair shot at the Players?
Please.
Nightmare of a week, logistically, weather, all this stuff. honestly, I think like all of the issues that they had would have been addressed by the PGL of a better leaderboard, 48 guys to get in. They could have gotten all of it in Saturday, Sunday if they wanted to. I'm not really down with the shotgun start format of the proposed PGL, but that would have helped get everyone in the house. But just for the people that were bemoaning, the leaderboard ended up very good by the end of the day, but after 54 holes, it was not. And
at some point, the Players seems like one of those tournaments, when and if the PGL happens, that it'll be one of the true 140, 150 guys playing. It'll be one of the true mixers of the of the year. I thought for sure you were going the media shuttle route when I heard logistics.
I'm not pulling a Kiowa. Okay, we had one bad traffic incident that I was willing to keep between us, but if you're going to bring it up, then I think that's an unfair shot.
Saturday was tough.
Okay, that's fine. It's a unique circumstance.
We fought through it though.
We did. We battled really hard.
Hey guys, question for you. Sebastian Munoz, what absolute horrible start to be in that rare position. What do you think like his overall recovery from that was though? Pretty impressive.
I mean, tell me, what did he do?
Are you quizzing?
Well, I saw he doubled 16 and bogeyed 17 and 18.
But he was
absolute horrible like final group start with what, double or triple?
Double on one, bogey on
just
two,
from
like a double.
Dead, and then somewhat turned it around until it got really bad.
He played 3 through 15, 2 under par, yet shot 5 over par for the day. That's tough.
That's tough. That's tough.
It's gonna happen.
God, the par fives are so good.
Yeah,
they're just like you can get caught with your hand in the cookie jar, or you can do something absolutely spectacular. God, Brendan Steele finished.
Oh yeah, there was a stop the steal situation.
He was sniffing around.
Yeah, he bogeyed 17.
I think we got to look into his soul though on 17 as well, where he hit it like 90 feet away from the hole.
Yeah. So, is it Augusta time? I mean, I think the eyes start turning towards Augusta. That's traditionally.
What do we have? Is match play? We got
Valspar,
then match play,
and then Valero, and then we're there.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
It's right around the corner. I think I'm hoping that like in a month we're reading a presser from Augusta. If you want to like the ultimate hopeful right here, a presser that's like, it's from Rory, and he's saying, I was really struggling with my game, and I could have mailed it in that final round that Monday, and I went out and found something, and ever since then it clicked.
I was reading some quotes from Anirban Lahiri. He said, "You never know what it's your week."
And So I got some word today that no names will be shared, but heard from multiple sources at the tour.
Shout out to Chris Broussard.
That the inventor or the ideator of the gold man, gold boy, whatever you want to call it.
He's got many known aliases.
He or she left the tour weeks ago.
Really?
Saddled them with Goldman and then
and bounced right into the sunset.
There was an incredible article on Golf Channel with, the article was the author of the article, Brentley Romine, was not trying to sell you on Goldman. He was just laying out the facts. He was laying out the quotes from the guy or from the program or whatever.
The famous
group that created it.
That's the name of the firm.
Yeah, they are laying it on pretty thick. The quotes are unbelievable. Like they would blow your mind in terms of like how important this was to the telecast. And I encourage people to
now has a character that they can lean on.
He developed Team Rose. You have to have somebody you can lean on.
He developed his own personality as the week went along, is what the originator said about it. It's an incredible.
He had plenty of time after they locked him in a closet after Thursday or Friday. Did the Goldman make an appearance today?
Oh yeah, he's out this morning. Oh,
really?
Yeah, he did the Ricky shot.
They brought him back.
Yeah,
I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it's 8:30. Probably if you've done the Wordle, if you're going to do the Wordle today, you've probably already done it. Massive shout out to the team at the New York Times for an homage.
Lou Turner was stoked about it this morning.
Exactly. That's all I'm going to say.
DJ is a habitual Wordle spoiler.
No, if you're not doing it first thing in the morning, I don't know what to tell you. I do it before. Well, I don't have to tell you where I do it,
the definition of a spoiler. That's on your schedule. That's not how this works.
You should have already done it.
Guys, take the Wordle stuff elsewhere.
So, anything else? Or are we good to wrap from a long ass week?
How was coverage? Good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Again, they were really trying to sell us on Paul Casey. Like it was like the culmination of a career was coming down to this moment, and it was I don't know who that was for. I really don't. But
It's for
other
the-
than that,
for the hundreds of thousands of rabid fans that
yeah, the people. I got 175 replies to my tweet again asking.
it was also for Peter Costas, who got canceled unceremoniously a couple months ago.
That was not great, but yeah, it was good.
Coverage was
Coverage good.
coverage was it was fine.
It felt like a big tournament. And they had so many curveballs thrown at them, and honestly, it was for everyone attending gates today. If you had a ticket at any and like a normal tournament, an enormous dressing room. So I'm glad they got it in.
I took, like I said last night, I took my family, or my son Freddie, yesterday.
Bathed your young son.
Sunday. Yeah, shout out to Chris Kirk and Josh Elliott. But yeah, we were standing on 16T, and like, you know, it was like a 90-minute interval between like, all right, every 90 minutes he has to go to the bathroom. Every 90 minutes he's hungry. Every 90 minutes he's thirsty. Like that, like you got to hit all the bingo cards every 90 minutes. And so he's like all three of those things. We're standing the left of 16T, and he just won't shut up, right? He's just talking and talking. I'm like, yo, you got to be quiet. He's still whispering and all that. And Cam Smith is teeing off, and I'm like, dude, like, and I put my hand on his mouth so hard, and I was like, yo, shut up, Freddie. So shout out to all the parents at golf tournaments out there. It is a nerve-wracking experience.
I'm
only
always
going to get worse as the purses go up.
I'm always terrified to like open up my phone and like some video is just going to
Exactly.
start blaring in somebody's backswing or drop a water bottle. It's
I thought you were going to have the tour's Shrek TikTok blaring as you know.
What was that?
oh god, we'll show you that.
I'll leave that as an Easter egg for
Yeah.
the people. If you'd like to go look up the PGA Tour's TikTok, the Shrek video, it's very akin to the Goldman technology.
I had a few conspiracy theorists in the DMs today as well, talking about Scott Piercy. There was a which conspiracy theory and Scott Piercy, I would just
Really?
very,
Shoes
very
on the
no,
other foot.
as far as a cell phone going off like in his swing when he moved the cut
Cut
line
Mm.
on 17.
Could have been one of the players calling him from the clubhouse.
Interesting.
It's a true who could say.
Let's get the call logs for that one.
What else?
Question on
Anything?
the screen: who's the Masters favorite? This is from Kevin Brightly. Masters favorite as of today?
Good question.
Very obvious if you ask me.
Who?
Rom.
Spieth.
Oh god.
I would say JT.
I would say Rom.
I think it's JT.
I think Rom's a very unsexy answer, but I think if you're looking at the math and the past performances and who has the best chance to kind of play well, that seems like my answer.
I'm
But
definitely saying Rom.
Do you think
JT, what has JT had any really good finishes there? He's been kind of stinky, hasn't he?
I mean, outside of Quail Hollow, his major record is
Yeah.
a little bit stinky.
which those aren't real majors either?
That's
It's true. People
Decent
forget
point.
that as well.
I'm surprised Rory hasn't won a
It-
major at Quail Hollow.
it is a real major because Louis finished second in that one.
What
I
did-
was gutted for you guys that picked Louis to win this week. I
What
was
did
shocked.
What did Louis do today?
T42, 4 over 76 today.
Yuck!
That's not good.
God, I rocked him, baby. Cam,
Well done.
that's like 3 or 4 big weeks in a row.
Big shout out to my guy Ian. I saw on Twitter that took our advice on Thursday night, put $100 on of real money on Cam.
on the Dingo.
Yeah, so enjoy.
It was like 30-1, right?
Yeah.
JT had a solo fourth at the Fake Masters in 2020, and that's his best finish. But was trending until last year at T21, T22, T17, T12, fourth, T21. So
All right.
Okay.
Watch
it's,
this
It's
space.
not like Spieth at Sawgrass. Where
Right.
You just like can't even find the
like
club
something's
face.
not right here. Like
Yeah.
maybe you don't need to play this one.
Yeah.
So
Anything else?
I think that's it. Longest week, and it was one extra day, but it
Weeks.
felt
weeks. It was 8 days.
it was a taxing week. I'm very glad this got done today. But on
Give a,
to Valspar.
Shout out to a friend of the program, Luke Guthrie. Apparently got through the Monday
Nice.
qualifier at Valspar. So
I think
Good luck to him
I
this
think
week.
Valspar is going to be a good tournament, like kind of post major, similar to like a Harbor Town kind of thing. Just a good,
easy one. Kick your
good-
feet
yeah,
up.
Yeah,
and-
kick your feet up and just like watch some good golf. And it's like a super interesting golf course, like for pro golf.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the live shows all week. All 2,000 of you that are currently watching live on YouTube, I think right now, it's greatly appreciated. It makes these weeks go by really fast, and they're a lot of fun for us. So thank you for doing that and supporting the show.
thank
And
you
the
to
content.
Elijah Craig as well. For,
Yeah.
Yep, Elijah
Sponsoring
Craig,
live show.
sponsor and all. Cody for producing as well. This has been a treat to have somebody running the ones and twos for us. So
Hey.
thank you for all that hard work.
Hey, Cody, first time at the Players. Last thing, what was your biggest takeaway?
after playing it and being extremely nervous about how the video was going to be received, just impressed at like how they move it out of the rough specifically. I mean, it's pretty easy to hit fairways there, but if you're off by a little bit with that much water and how saturated the course was, just them being able to hit the quality iron shots, it was crazy. 17 lived up to everything that I thought it was going to be in beautiful weather, in rain, and in freezing weather. It's one of the tournaments that like
rain that one day. I apologize for that.
Yeah. Well, you came prepared, so it was good. But yeah, I think it's awesome. An awesome tournament. If anybody has the opportunity to go check it out, it's definitely something that I'm excited for next year already. So it was great. Thanks for having me down. Thanks to the lovely couple down on their honeymoon right now, Neil and Carson, for offering up their domicile and letting me crash down there for a couple of days. So I'm excited. On to Augusta we go.
Love it. And
also, getting late reports that Omar Uresti is in the field this week at the Valspar.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? On a sponsor's
I
exemption?
don't know. Somebody is in the comments saying that. So
that could be a prank if that's the case.
but also, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like guys have to be.
I gotta imagine there's gonna be some
mega burned out
withdrawals.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, get well soon, Mr. Big. I don't know.
Yeah.
He doesn't tap out very often, so he must be feeling pretty under the weather.
Yeah.
Right. And the last thing real quick, just kind of heartwarming story. I think of like the last 2 weeks is if people have been following the junior golfer out of Ukraine and the piece that was written on him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, as crazy as long of a week as it was kind of for us, how short I'm sure it feels for him, but him and his mom able to move down to Orlando. Great job by the Ledbetters in opening up the academy and getting him enrolled there. His dad stayed in Ukraine to join the rest of the fighting age males that are continuing with that. But incredible story and kind of really cool to see the golf community come together and support something like that. So bravo to everybody involved.
Amen. Amen to that. We saw him on the first tee and was like, man, I'm sure this is probably about as far away from what he was feeling about a week ago as physically possible. So congrats to everyone for doing that. That was a great story. So.
Amen. Speaking of which, they should give one of the confiscated Russian oligarch yachts. They should give one of those to Cam.
I think that'd be very generous. I like that idea.
More on this later.
Watch his space.
I'm looking at Omar Uresti is PGA Club professional champion. He gets in on that note. So.
6 event. He gets into 6 events a year.
Wow. So
very cool.
All right, guys.
Thanks you, everyone.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you, Cody. Cheers, everyone. Have a great week.
Cheers.